CQDX. This is Havana calling. CQDX, CQDX, CQDX. This is Radio Havana calling all shortwave listeners and radio amateurs. Welcome to... DXers Unlimited, Radio Havana's weekly feature dedicated to the fascinating world of radio communications.
Hello, my friends all around the world. Yes, you may want to practice a little any foreign language that you may have learned in order to achieve positive identification of DX stations that broadcast in that specific language you have learned by a lot of practice. Even learning a few short sentences in any language, especially those related to stations ID, may prove to be of great help when trying to identify a DX station, be it a broadcaster or an amateur radio operator. I am Arnaldo Arnicoro, Radio Amateur 2K2, your host here at the middle of the week edition of DXers Unlimited, and here is Item 1. At many locations, installing a center-fed dipole antenna may prove to be very difficult or impossible, leaving the radio amateur with the only option of using an end-fed radiator that will put him on the air. But end-fed antennas of all types have some limitations that are important to be known by their users. The primary advantage of an end-fed antenna is, as expected, simplicity of installation when at the end is close proximity to the station. One of the ends close proximity to the station. Then a secondary advantage may be the directivity of the antenna, which is shown by the presence of radiation lobes of the end instead of being broadside as with a dipole. The primary disadvantage are they are often inefficient and do require some type of counterpoise or ground radios of 1/4 of a wavelength at the lowest operating frequency, or at least some form of counterpoise to diminish the common mode current on the feed line. That may produce, among other things, nasty radio frequency burns when you touch the panel or metal panel of the equipment while transmitting. A properly done installation of an end-fed antenna of no less than 1/4 of a wavelength at the lowest operating frequency you will want to use thus requires the connection of an antenna tuner capable of matching a wide range of impedances. Some really successful almost end-fed antennas are in use worldwide by radio amateurs. The Carolina Wyndham has its feed line connected very close to one of the radiating elements, so it may fall into the category of an almost end-fed antenna because the short side of the asymmetric dipole can be really very short. With my Arnicoro's 5-network antenna tuner using a pair of air-fake 300 picofarad variable capacitors rated at 1500 volts and a multiple tap coil that is very easy to assemble at home, makes possible to match a wide end range of antenna wires. So it's ideal for portable stations that when be set up during emergencies, you just use a wire and my antenna tuner. And by the way, this is DXers Unlimited middle of the week edition, the program you're listening to now. I'm your host, Arnaldo Arnicoro. My ham radio call sign is 2KK. And here is now our next radio hub-related item here. Two unconnected, sporadically layered, highly ionized patches can make possible longer distance DX, for example, on the 6 and 10 meter bands by means of something known as double hop. Experts are now talking about also a possibility of whispering galley effect that may be connected with the yearly summertime openings on 6 meters from Europe to North America and the Caribbean and vice versa. The two happen quite independently of the number of sunspots and solar flux values. This is very interesting. They happen at any time during the solar cycle. And by the way, the NOAA sunspot number for hour 7 was 73 and not higher than 75 units for any consecutive days in the past. Also some days of 0 sunspots in the past several weeks. So now, after listening to that solar activity update, you can understand, you fully understand why the high frequency band propagation conditions are so good. Please stay on this frequency or connected to the internet www.radiohc.cu. In a few seconds after station ID, I'll be back with more interesting radio hub information. I'm your host, Arnaldo Arnicoro, in La Havana, Cuba. Radio Havana Cuba. The name of the show is DXers Unlimited, and you are now listening to the middle of the week edition of this program. The next hobby item here more about the super high-power pulse type modulation over the horizon radar signals that are using parts of several amateur bands more and more, spoiling them, by the way. For technical reasons, those radars that are able to see targets farther than the radio horizon of the typical standard radar range and azimuth location systems require a very large bandwidth to achieve their purpose, so they do a lot of damage to amateur radio communications. As a matter of fact, rendering sometimes 10 or even up to 100 kilohertz unusable, absolutely unusable, for even highly efficient narrowband digital communications modes used by radio amateurs worldwide nowadays. It is a fact that over-the-horizon radars are becoming routine visitors on amateur high-frequency bands. Just to give you an example, a frequent radio signal that is about 13 to 15 kilohertz wide is being heard between 7,000 and 7,100 kilohertz segment of 40 meters, where there's a lot of CW and digital activity. Meanwhile, broadband over-the-horizon radars from China, Australia, Cyprus, and Turkey have been monitored in the 15 meters or 21 megahertz amateur band that is allocated by the ITU for exclusive use of the amateur radio service. Another ever-increasing source of interference to amateur radio communications comes also from single sideband voice traffic carried out by fishing trawler operators that are in the high seas. Voice traffic from fishing operations has been heard on all the high-frequency bands, from 80 meters up to 10 meters. And here's now our next radio hover item, getting ready for the solar eclipse. Yes, amigos, are you getting ready for the solar eclipse? August 21, just around the corner, will certainly have an impact on several shortwave radio systems, something that is well known and that has been put to good use by scientists wanting to learn more about the solar corona. The Cuban designed and built Super Islander Mark V direct convection receiver may be used for that purpose. It is built using very common parts and is assembled into a big chassis to make it easy to repair at any time that is breaking out. The all-solid-state version, powered from a 12-volt cell battery of the type used for computer UPS units, typically built for a 7-ampere-hour rating. And, of course, using the transmitters from the same equipment, you will be able to transmit CW Morse code radio telegraphy or single sideband or double sideband voice, depending on the version of the Super Islander. By operating properly, the emergency communications nets are able to keep traffic flowing properly all around the world. They provide very important service. At this moment, the Mexicans have activated their emergency net as Hurricane Franklin is tropical storm. Actually, Franklin is reaching the coast of Yucatan Peninsula by the time you're listening to this show. And now, amigos, at the end of the program, here's the very popular Arnie Cordo's propagation update and forecast. Again, we're suffering from very low solar activity, sending the daytime maximum usable frequencies to really very low values. Conditions at night on frequencies below about 8 megahertz are making possible listening to stations on the 49 and 60 meter band, broadcast band both, with very good quality, no fading, no noise. Please send your daily reports and comments to info.rac@enet.cu or via airmail to Arnie Cordo, Radio Havana Cuba, Havana, Cuba. And please remember to keep the emergency frequencies clear, as the Mexican radio amateurs are now operating their emergency nets due to the presence of tropical storm Franklin in the Mexican area.
And that's all for today. This is Arnie Cordo, Radio Amateur CO2KK, your host here at Radio Havana's DXers Unlimited, saying 73 and very good DX.
Thanks, Arnie Cordo, DXers Unlimited, heard every Tuesday here on Radio Havana Cuba.